Why on earth are you ordering the Grand Sport? Here's why. I bought this Grand Sport. All right, guys, first thing I want to say to you is happy 4th of July and happy 250th birthday, America. I hope everybody has a fun and safe day today. Enjoy.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary with the Brink of Speed America 250th Collection. Bold designs for a historic milestone.
Go to brinkofspeed.com to get yours today.
All right, guys and gals, I've had a lot of people ask me about this. Mike, why in the world did you order a Grand Sport over a Grand Sport X or anything else, especially after owning an E-Ray? And you might be surprised to find out that it had very little to do with money and everything to do with one Corvette that completely changed the way that I feel about performance cars now and what truly is important. And believe it or not, it wasn't my C7Z06. It wasn't my C8 E-Ray. It was actually my C8 Stingray. And I'll explain why. I'll also answer a lot more questions that people have been asking me about why I didn't order the Grand Sport X, why I didn't get front lift, why I didn't get the center exit exhaust, and why I went with a 2LT this time. So if you've been wondering about any of those, stick around because I'm going to answer all of them for you in this video. All right, so as you guys know, or most of you know, I've owned a C5Z06, C6Z06, C7Z06, C8 Stingray Coupe, C8 Stingray Convertible, and a C8 E-Ray Convertible. And every one of those cars has taught me something different. And together, they completely change what I now look for in a Corvette. So when I went from a C7Z06 with 650 horsepower, 650 torque, I honestly was worried about moving to a C8 Stingray. I had a feeling that I was going to be disappointed in the power. And quite frankly, I had a feeling the Stingray would feel slow to me, but boy, was I wrong. I've said this a million times, but the mid-engine platform completely changed everything. It was no longer about the power, but how that power was delivered and the confidence that all of that gave you. It made the Corvette for the first time that much more enjoyable and fun to drive. So the Stingray completely changed my perspective. And before owning it, I always thought that power was king. But after owning it, I realized that power isn't everything. And it's certainly not the only thing that makes the Corvette fun. Now, when I bought my 2023 Stingray Convertible, I completely changed my build. I went to no mag ride, no Z51, and a hardtop convertible. But why did I do that? Partially because I wanted to see if everybody was right about these options, including myself. But what I learned next actually surprised me. For the way I drove, I didn't miss mag ride, except for after I had it lowered. But before I had it lowered, it drove smooth. Also, unless you're going to the track, you don't need Z51. It's pretty much pointless. And I absolutely fell in love with the convertible top. So yet again, another Corvette teaching me something I never knew. And then came the E-Ray. It was by far the quickest Corvette I had ever owned. The all-wheel drive made launching that car effortless, and I absolutely loved it. But unfortunately, the market forced my hand. Values started dropping quickly, and I decided it was time to move on. Many of you are asking, if you love the E-Ray, why on earth are you ordering the Grand Sport? Here's why. I bought this Grand Sport for all of you. I could have ordered a Grand Sport X. I could have chased bigger horsepower, bigger numbers, and bigger bragging rights for that matter. But that's not what this channel has ever been about. This channel has always been about helping Corvette enthusiasts like yourselves make the best decision for your garage. Because if I'm gonna review a Corvette, I really want it to be a Corvette that most of you are gonna buy. I know that most of you aren't shopping for the Grand Sport X. In fact, they're only gonna make maybe a few thousand of them a year. So instead of building the most expensive Grand Sport possible, I built one that I thought reflects what most of you would be building, because I wanted to experience the same car that you guys will be shopping for. I wanted to live with it, test it, modify it, and tell you exactly what I think. That's why I ordered this car. So here's what I ordered. A 2LT Coupe, the Heritage paint scheme with Admiral Blue, no front lift, and no center exhaust. I intentionally kept this build realistic. It's a little over $104,000, which I know a lot of you are not gonna build this car upwards of $110,000, $120,000. It's just not practical. But I know a lot of you asked, why no front lift, Mike? I think that's a mistake. Well, I've owned 3 Corvettes that had no front lift. One was my C5Z06 that I lived in Colorado Springs with. Every driveway there was super steep, and just entering the driveway was a tall, steep curb. I did fine. Never needed any front lift. In fact, we didn't even know what front lifts were back in 2005. My C6 Z06 was lowered over an inch. Living here in the DFW, never needed a front lift. So honestly, I'm not worried about the front lift issue one bit. Why not center exhaust? Honestly, I think the LS6 is gonna sound phenomenal regardless. Will it sound better in the center? Probably, but I already loved my LT2 sound on the black tip exhaust that I had on my Stingray and my E-Ray. So I'm not worried about it. I know the LS6 is gonna sound phenomenal and will probably sound even better than those two did. Now, a lot of you are also asking what I am most excited about, and I wanted to go over this with you anyway. I'm really excited about the Heritage paint scheme because, again, it's just like my favorite C4 Corvette that I've always wanted, the 1996 Grand Sport. I'm also really excited to hear the LS6 for the first time. I haven't heard it in person. I'm also really excited to get to experience the 40 extra horsepower and 50 extra foot-pounds of torque that this LS6 is going to put out compared to my Stingray that I had, or both my Stingrays that I had before. And you know, I'll be able to get you guys brand new 0 to 60 in quarter-mile times. GM hasn't shown us or told us what those are on the LS6 yet. They probably will before I get my car, but I'll show you real-world times that'll be hopefully even more impressive than the Stingray was. Plus, I'll be taking it to a dyno right away, let you guys know what this thing puts down to the rear wheels. And of course, you know, I'll make it my own with my modifications. I'll be doing some road trips in it and just really having an overall great time in this car. Lastly, I'm really looking forward to this car because I'll be able to give you guys a comparison between all the C8s that I've owned and driven, and really give you an idea of how this Grand Sport stacks up to all of those previous C8s that I've owned and driven, which one of those may end up as one of the most important comparisons that I've done on my channel to date. And I think that's true because my expectations for this car are actually really high. So guys, in closing, I honestly think that this Grand Sport is going to surprise a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of people out there that chase the high horsepower numbers, and that's fine. I'm not faulting them for that at all. But as I said before, after owning 6 Corvettes, I really learned something, and especially with the Stingray. The best Corvette isn't always the fastest Corvette. It's the one that gets you to get out on the road and drive it and have that wonderful feeling while you're driving it. And I truly believe the Grand Sport is gonna do exactly that. And I really can't wait to experience it and to share all of that journey with each and every one of you guys. So I really hope this video answered all of your questions. If you enjoyed it, make sure to smash that thumbs up button. If you have more questions for me, put them down in the comments below. Also, if you haven't joined the Brink of Speed community, help us out. Smash that red subscribe button and join. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful 4th of July, celebrating America's 250th birthday. Guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you out on the road.